Hello and welcome back to Race Recap. My name is Jackson. Last weekend we had the IMSA drivers racing at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Track in the middle of Ohio, and that's probably why it's called Mid-Ohio. Now we didn't have all 5 classes racing, we had all the classes, the LMP2, the LMP3, the GTD, no GTD Pro, and then of course the DPI cars. Now here's a look at the track description for Mid-Ohio if you want to pause the video. I like this course, it's a pretty fun one. Of course, something that's interesting, you see down here it says the rolling start line. That's what IndyCar and IMSA use instead of the start finish line. This is where you end the race, but you start the race. So to get a rolling start, you go a little faster down here toward the back straightaway part of the course. So I think that's pretty interesting that IMSA and IndyCar do. Now the race was a 2-hour and 40-minute race. Of course, it's timed for IMSA. First caution was brought out when Ori Findani and the number 13 LMP3 car spun out. There was no caution, of course, again, when the LMP2 car Dwight Merriman spun. There was no caution. The 57 GTD Mercedes AMG Russell Ward got off course a little bit, got into the grass, 2 tires that was, and then lost grip and spun out into the gravel, but was able to keep it going, so there was no caution. And then Lance Wilsey in the 33 LMP3 car spun out. There was no caution again when the Patrick Kelly car in LMP2 went around. The first and only full course caution was brought out when Erasmus Lynn in the LMP3 car stopped it on track in his 38 machine. Then there was no caution on that restart. A battle for the lead in DPI between Ringer van der Zande and the 01 Cadillac. They've had big troubles this year in the 01. Either they've won or they have not had finished the race. And then also he was caught up with the 10 Acura of Ricky Taylor and Philippe Albuquerque, who were both racing in that car. They made contact as they were battling for the lead down towards turn 4, 5, and 6, and van der Zande spun through the grass and lost all his track position. And then there was no caution. Lastly, Jonathan Bomarito and the LMP2 car spun out. And the checker flags went to the 10 of Ricky Taylor and Philippe Albuquerque. They were able to hold off everyone else in DPI. In LMP2, Juan Pablo Montoya and Hendrik Hedman won it in the 81 Dragon Speed car, and they were battling for the lead with Jonathan Bomarito. As I said, he spun out in that number 11 LMP2 car. They were actually given a penalty in the 81 for avoidable contact. They did a pass-through and were able to still come back and win the race. And then in LMP3, as the clock was running out and the gas was running out for John Bennett and Colin Brown in the 54 LMP3 car, they were able to cruise and coast across the line. If there was one more lap, they probably would not have won the race. They were running out of gas. And then lastly in GTD, a McLaren won it. It was Brennan Irby and Jordan Pepper in the number 70 McLaren car. Well, that's all for Race Recap. Come join us in about 3 weeks when we have the IMSA drivers, DPI and GTD only, racing on the streets of Belle Isle in Detroit, Michigan.